Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're learning how to make a lace mesh dress. Okay, and it's going to be more like creating an illusion on a dress with a certain type of fabric. Okay, so to do that you need your lace fabric, you need lycra or a plain crepe fabric that blends with your skin color, and then you need zipper and thread. Okay, so for me, I didn't copy this design exactly because I had to work with the design of lace I had. So this is how the outcome of my own hair. This is the unfinished dress anyway, but I wanted us to have a look of how my own lace came out. Okay, so I'll be showing us how to make the dress, right? So you need to know how to draft a tube, and I have done that tutorial before now, so I'll be dropping the link on how to make a tube dress in the description box. Okay, so this is the upper part of my tube dress. This is my tube here. This is crepe fabric. You can use lycra, but I'm using crepe, and it blends with my skin tone, as you can see. Okay, so I have both fabric and lining already cut out. Yeah, so this is the front of my tube. Okay, so basically I'll just be joining the three pieces together. Okay, fabric to fabric, lining to lining, basically. So like I said, if you don't know how to draft cut and sew a tube dress, I have done a detailed tutorial on that. So just open the link in the description box, you'll find it there, or just click on the link somewhere up on this video. You'll see the link to the video on how to draft, cut and sew a tube dress. Okay, so I'm just pinning my fabric together. This is the front part of the dress. So the mesh illusion dress is more like a two-in-one dress. There's a tube inside and there's a veil net or mesh fabric on top of the tube. So I'll just take us through the process. Now this is my back pattern and the fabric I've already cut out. So I already laid out my back pieces this way. Okay, so this is one of my back piece and this is the second back piece. So I'll be joining them together and all with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then so when I do that, I'll just show us. So like I said, make sure you watch that tutorial I did on how to cut and sew a tube dress. Okay, so I've joined my back piece together. I'll just go ahead and turn the top part here with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so right side facing right side, I'll join with 1/2 inch. This is the top part. Okay, and this is the back. And I'll do the same thing for the other piece there. Okay, I'll go ahead and turn it together. And I'll also be turning the front piece. Okay, I'll also be turning the front piece on the neckline there. So here, this is my front piece, fabric and lining. I'll make right side face right side and I'll turn the neckline together. Okay, yeah, so I'll just go to my sewing machine and do that. Okay, so once I turn the neckline together, all I'll just do is I'll join the front and back piece together at the sides. Okay, so like I said, I have done a detailed tutorial on how to do this. Just click on the link in the description box. Okay, so this is my pencil skirt here, and I've already sewn my darts. This is the front, and the back piece too. This is it here. And mind you, the tube dress should be shorter than the second dress I'll be talking about. Okay, yeah, it should be shorter. So this is it here. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and turn the side seams and sew it together with the body. So basically I'm done sewing my tube dress. This is it here. Okay, so this is the first dress and I've done a rolled hem for the lower part of my dress. You may or may not pad it. I'm not really a fan of padding, so that's why I don't pad my dresses as much. So this is it here. Okay, so like I said, the length of the second dress should be longer. Yeah, so now moving on to the second part of the garment, which is the outer garment, which is the dress. You're going to be using your basic dress pattern to cut out the front and back piece. So this is veil net. This is a regular veil net, you know, like used for yoke and all. So make sure you don't use one that is too stretchy. Okay, so basically I have my basic dress pattern here. There is no dart, it is dartless. Okay, so yeah, this is it here. This is the front piece, and I make sure it blends with your skin perfectly. Okay, yeah. So and like I said, there is no dots. Okay, so this is the front piece. Now for the neckline, I did 4 by 4 inch, and I added my seam allowance round, and I have one inside seam allowance. So that's for the front. Okay, yeah, and I said I did 4 by 4 inch for the neck width and neck depth. Okay, so that's for my front pattern. Now for the back, it's the same thing. You're going to be cutting 2 pieces for the back. Like I said, it's just a normal basic dress pattern, but it is dartless because obviously tulle is stretchy, so you don't need to add seam allowance. But I have my zipper allowance, okay, and my side seam, and this is longer than the tube dress. I think my tube dress is about 32 inches, and the crepe is about, sorry, the net is about 36 or 37. This is my basic sleeve pattern here. I will also be dropping the link in the description box if you don't know how to draft a basic sleeve. So yeah, so now I'll be joining the nets together, front and back together at the shoulder. Like I said, the net should be longer than the tube. Okay, so for the net is about 37 or 38 inches as the length, so it's longer than the tube. Okay, the tube is a crepe material that was sewn initially. So I'll be joining these together, front and back together at the shoulder. Okay, with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So basically this tutorial is not for beginners. You should know how to draft a basic sleeve, draft a basic dress. Okay, so I'll be dropping the link in the description box. So I'm joining with 1/2 inch seam allowance there. Okay, there, and I'll also be adding my sleeve to the dress. Okay, I'll add my sleeve, which I already added my seam allowance to already, right? And then when I'm done adding the sleeve, I will sew my side seam with 1 inch seam allowance. The only part that'll be left open is the center back. Okay, so yeah, I'm done. So let me just quickly show us what it looks like. This is the dress. Okay, so you can see that I've sewn the sleeves, and I've also sewn my side seam is 1 inch. So the only place that is left open now is my center back, where we're going to be having our zipper. Okay, so here we are getting there. Okay, so the main work on this dress is the cutting of the trimmings and then fixing of the trimmings. So basically we have 2 dresses now: the basic dress, which is the tulle, and the crepe, which is our tube. So I wanted to use this lace fabric initially, you know, but I found that the selvage wasn't enough. Yeah, though it would have still come out more lovely. I just cut out the trimmings and fix it at all, but I discovered that it wasn't enough, so I'm using another lace. Okay, so but before we do that, I've pinned my tube to the mannequin, and I've also placed the basic dress on it. So let us have like a look of what it looks like before we go ahead to the fixing of the trimming. But I'm yet to fix my zipper yet. So you can see that the net is longer than the tube, right? So this is the lace fabric I got. This is 1 yard of lace. So first I'll be trimming off the selvage, which I want to add to the hemline of my dress. Okay, so once I trim off the selvage, I would also cut out the trimmings on the lace. Okay, so as I was saying, my design is quite different from the dress, you know, the black dress, because her own lace design is different. So what that means is if you get your own lace design, it might be different from my own too, but the concept or the method of sewing is the same thing. In some cases, some people don't use crepe, some people use lycra, because lycra is stretchy. Okay, so you could do lycra too. So here I'm still trying to cut out my trimmings and all, but this is the selvage that I want to add to the hemline of the basic dress. That's the net. Okay, so this is it here. Now I've been able to cut out this. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna need more trimmings, but let's just get started first. So this is my net. Okay, so I'll just place the this large piece here, and then I'm going to make it a little bit, you know, longer than the net itself. You see that? So I'll just pin it. That's because I don't want my dress to be short. Okay, so I'll just pin it down. I'll pin it down. Now for the fixing of this net, there are several ways. You could hand stitch it with needle and thread. You can use glue to glue it, and you can use machine. But for me, I want something that will be durable and stand the test of time. So I would be doing, I'll be stitching it down with my sewing machine basically. But I know some people use glue, some people use gum, some people use needle and thread. But using needle and thread would take like forever. So I'm using my sewing machine to do that. So now I'm just pinning the trimming to the toe. Okay, so you just pin it down like I'm doing, and like I said, I will be stitching down with my sewing machine. I think I prefer it that way. It's neater. I think it's faster than using your hand, and then more durable. The glue can come out or something after washing, but this will be durable. So just do what you feel is comfortable. So but make sure you pin it. Okay, so I'll just pin. I'm just still pinning it. Okay, and I'll just trim off any excess I have there. Okay, so please, very very importantly, make sure you pin so that everything aligns properly. Okay, so now I would take this to my sewing machine and I will sew. So I'll just show us like how I'm going to do that. Now I'm running 2 stitches on this. The first one at the top part, and the second one I'll be sewing on the wrong side, so that I will make sure the net there is sewn to the trimming. Okay, so now I'll be taking this to my sewing machine and off I go. Okay, so this is it. So I'm stitching down. Like I said, it's a matter of choice. I prefer to use my sewing machine, so I'll just sew around the edges of the lace or the trimming. Okay, so now that I'm done, okay, I want to stitch the second side. So like I said, I'll be sewing on the wrong side so that I can make sure I stitch directly on the line there. So let me just do that. After I do this, I will now start to arrange the trimmings on the dress. Now as it is, the hemline of my tube is obvious, okay, and it's not supposed to be. So I'll be arranging my trimmings in such a way that the trimming will end at the hemline of the tube. So I'll be working with those other smaller trimmings, and I'll just stitch with my sewing machine, which I have done already. This is it here, you can see that. So at this point, I would also be arranging my trimmings around the neckline. Okay, so you can create any design you want, so you don't have to copy directly. So this is what I've been able to come up with based on the design of the lace or the trimming I have. Okay, so this is it here. And I just pinned it down first to have a look of, you know, like what I've done before I go ahead to go and stitch it down with my sewing machine. So now I'm done stitching. Okay, this is what it's looking like at the moment. Okay, so now next step will be to turn the hemline of the neckline. So I'll be working with bias tip. For some people, they could just leave it like that, but I don't think I want to do that. I want to turn the hemline with my bias, which I have just done now. Okay, so next step is to fix your zipper. Now, before you fix your zipper, you want to make sure that the dress, that's the tube, is well fitted on your body. Okay, so you can do a test fitting, put it on, use pins to hold the back, be sure it's perfect before you stitch it with the net. So now, the only thing holding the net and the tube together is the zipper at the back. Okay, so I will be pinning the armhole of the tube to the armhole of the net. Okay, so I'll just pin it together, and then you should also make sure the sides seam match, they match up. So I'll just pin here. Okay, so you can see that my tube has the inner dress. You can see that it ends almost exactly where the trimmings are on the net. Okay, so that's the idea. You're not supposed to be seeing the hemline of the tube. Okay, so you just pin it, make sure it matches side seam to side seam. Just pin it down, just for you to be able to fix the zipper. Then you take off the pins later. So I'm just pinning it down. Then you also pin the zipper part. Then because the crepe is a little bit stretchy and then the net is stretchy, I won't be adding any slits to my dress. Okay, I won't be adding any slits to my dress. So I'm just still pinning. So the last process for this dress is to fix the zipper, which shouldn't be much of an issue. Okay, so like I said, if you're a beginner and you're watching this video, make sure you check the description box. I'll be dropping the link on how to draft a basic sleeve, how to draft a tube, how to sew it, a tube dress. I've done it before, so it's not a problem. Just try and watch it. You know, if I had to do that, this video will be very lengthy. Okay, so I'm still pinning. Okay, and just make sure everything aligns properly before you go ahead to sew the center back and add your zipper. So I think I'm all good now. Still pinning the other side of the dress. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so as soon as I pin here down, I'm really taking my time to explain. Okay, because it seems like an easy stuff to do. It's actually easy, but you need to pay attention to details. So this is how it's going to look like here. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and add my zipper. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, like, share, and leave your comments. So now I'll just go ahead and add my zipper to my dress, and then we'll see the final outcome. So like I said, I won't be adding any slits to my dress. No, I'm not adding slits because the fabric is obviously stretching. Okay, so this is the final outcome of my dress. So like I said, the choice of your lace is going to determine the design it's going to come out with. Okay, so but the technique is still the same thing, and you can actually use lycra to make your own dress. Yep. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.